A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Before I record my poem about Salat, I would like to share with you about the reason for its creation. When I joined a creative writing group of 14 or 15 people, in which I was the only Muslim, I thought whatever topic is discussed in class, I will try to think about it from Islamic point of view and write about it. So the topic discussed was number 5, and my obvious choice was our 5 times prayer. So here is the poem on number 5. 5 by Foqia Hayee. 5 reminds me of 5 times prayer that Muslims must do if they care about their faith so dear without fear. First Salat, for that is what it's called. Fajr, it is known, done before sunrise, just after dawn. The second is called Zuhr, said at midday, each day without delay. Asr is the third, which is for the afternoon. It's quite short, so there's no need to mourn. Number 4 is Maghrib, said after sunset. If you miss it, you might well regret. And the last is Isha, to be done before bed, so that you can rest peacefully with a clear head. The timings of the prayer change according to the season. The time of sunrise and sunset is the reason. After Adhan, if you do these right, your mind will be free and your soul will take a flight. I would also like to say something else about namaz or salat, which is purely my way of thinking. Salat or namaz is an expression of absolute devotion, both with words followed or combined with actions full of body language. It is the most important and exaggerated pillar of Islam, most repeated expression of absolute love and obedience. That's the way I see it. So, what happens actually is that a Muslim mentally isolates oneself from the worldly business and begins to concentrate and completely occupy oneself to attend to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine when you go to meet someone important, you have to make sure that you make a good impression in every way. So for Salat, you have to make sure that you are clean or pak, as we say. That is mental preparation, wudu. Then we stand up, stand up and face the Kaaba and start doing actions and saying words confirming those actions or vice versa. Act those words out. A person does all that is in his power to um, please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his creator, to obey his orders, to be in his good books, if you like. He says, all praises are for you. You are great. I love you. Forgive me. Prepare me and guide me. Please accept me. I want to obey you and be in your army. I bow to you. Gradually, this declaration of submission becomes deeper and deeper, and then we prostrate, thus being in complete state of surrender and acceptance of his power. A devoted Muslim does that 5 times a day. I think that we are so lucky that the most popular being in the whole universe, who is so much in demand can be reached without appointment 5 times a day, and more times if need be. And the thing that attracts me and fascinates me most is that this is done by rich and poor, ugly or handsome, young and old, white or black, English or Arab. It sees no status, state of health, ability or disability, the real display of equality at its peak. They stand in one line equally in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is the servant or the served. All servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala standing beside each other. I have observed that some of us are ashamed to do salat in public when it is time. I want to, I remember a special incident here which I would like to mention. Once we had a lady guest who said, do you know, while driving on the motorway, Sajid, I think probably that was his name or whatever, who was his nephew, he stopped and started to read namaz on the shoulder of the motorway, and every passerby was watching us, and I was so embarrassed. And I'm thinking to myself, well, well done to the young man Sajid, who stopped and prayed namaz on time whenever it was called or ordered from his creator. And then I said to this lady, what about when you are walking up the high street and suddenly two youngsters start to kiss each other passionately? Aren't you embarrassed then? You know, you don't know which way to look, especially if you are with kids. So if these kids, two young people or whatever you can call them, uh, are acting on impulse by order of shaitan, why can't a Muslim do the same and do salat, obeys Allah's orders whenever it is time for it? It is also a kind of preaching. So let's get going. Do wuzu and do your 5 times prayer every day and see its results, how they uplift your spirits. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.